Good evening, internets. It's me, DP Knudten, for another edition of Bookward Bound. 301 days from I should really do this to done. And what is that done? Well, that done is actually the writing of a brand new book by January 1st, 2021, and the uploading of press-ready files, PDF files, to Amazon's Kindle Direct Publishing platform, so that I'll have a brand new book to market and share all throughout 2021. Yeah, 301 consecutive days. And I think, in fact, I'm going to look it up very quickly. I think tonight just might be episode 99. Is that correct? Hold on. Going to the YouTube. Your channel. YouTube Studio. Looking up videos and is it? Could it be? Last night was episode 98, so yes, tonight is episode 99. 99 consecutive days doing a live stream like this, where I am progressing my book forward in one way or another. So tonight, I'm going to be doing exactly that. And what I'm going to be doing, I don't exactly know. Well, actually, I do. Because every Saturday is the day that I edit the Nonfiction Brand podcast episode that will be premiering on the following Monday. So today, I was listening to the first half of a conversation with Roger Wakefield, who is Roger Wakefield, the Expert Plumber on YouTube and other channels. And he's a guy I met at Social Media Marketing World this year. And I'm so glad I did, because forever I have been using plumbers as an example of people who should be using social media but don't, because it seems like, why would a plumber use social media? Well, Roger Wakefield is that plumber who is using social media, so much so that if you go onto YouTube, just search for the word plumbing, you're likely to see him, or maybe not as the number one search term or search result, but number 2 through number 20, because the guy literally owns plumbing on YouTube. Really cool story, really fun episode, and I hope you check that out on Monday. But I'm telling you this because tonight I'm going to be working on a section of the book that is all about the guy, which I've already started to write. And number two. It's nailed as who and what. Roger nailed. Pum is in front of the Ganada. You know, and I think what I need to do is I need to find, because I think this section is long enough, 1,300 words. Roger, I hope you're happy about this. 1,300 words all about Roger Wakefield, the Expert Plumber on, hold on, I don't want that. I want this. Restream chat. Hold on. Here we go. Restream chat. Okay, why am I opening a Restream chat? Well, the fact is that if you were watching this on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, or Twitch, you can actually ask me questions, make comments, say hello, whatever you want to do, simply by typing in your thoughts into the comment box, and I'll be able to see it. So I want to make sure that was up so that I would be able to see if you were contacting me in one way or another. But for this, I think what I'm going to do is take a look at this. So in this section, be the red gummy bear, in which to prove a point. Roger, and because he showed me so. Now the question is, all right, so Roger Wakefield is a plumber because here's what I'm going to do. If you notice over here on the side, you'll see that this section has a blue flag. The blue flag means, hey, David, you've written this completely, but it has not been edited. So do a first pass edit on this section before it can be awarded the coveted green flag of completeness. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to read through this and then read through the next section, which goes into a lot more depth about Roger, because I was just listening to the podcast today, so it's really fresh in my mind. So I'm going to start with Be the Red Gummy Bear, and I'm going to read it aloud. This is my pro tip to anyone who might be writing a book. If you're like me and you want your copy or your writing to be very vocal, read it aloud, because every time you read it aloud, you'll stumble over some stuff that indicates this needs to be shaped and it needs to be smoothed out a little bit. So I'm going to read this section aloud and make changes along the way. So why don't you join me as I do exactly that? Be the red gummy bear. One of my super secret creativity techniques is to deeply understand the creative brief, then ignore it. I'm going to give that a long dash, and then ignore it. This all started back in the pre-internet days with a thing called Workbook. It was a periodic publication that showcased the work of top-tier professional photographers from around the world. There were always a ton of these impressively weighty and gorgeously produced books around the ad agency. So what I do after fully understanding the creative brief was grab one and waste a bunch of time paging through it. But here's the big secret. It wasn't a waste of time at all. What happened nearly every single time was the sudden and wholly unexpected arrival of a creative idea. Maybe not fully fleshed out and ready for publication, but a seed of an idea was serendipitously found while not actively looking for it. And that brings me to the red gummy bear. I don't have any workbook issues lying around anymore because the internet has made them redundant doorstops. Instead, there are any number of stock photography websites out there that can serve the same purpose, general browsing, and a more advanced one seeking tagged photos that illustrate specific concepts. Pixabay.com is one of my favorite free stock photo sites. I use it and others to force my creative brief prepared mind elsewhere. For a recent presentation, I wanted to illustrate the twin concepts of commodity and uniqueness and was really at a loss. A picture may be worth 1,000 words, but commodity and unique just didn't seem to hang out a lot. And then I found it, a photo by a German photographer named Ronil. All right, so here's what I can do. I think I can pull this in. Where's this going to be? If I search for gummy bear, I should be able to find something. How about this? Oh, it's got to be someplace. Or how about Ronil? Because I always make sure the photographer's name. There we go. Gummibärchen. Of course. Gummibärchen, which is, let's see, can I just drag this in? This is the literal photo. And I'm going to say, let's make this 1,000 by 306 dpi. This is the actual photo by Raniel. So this will be resized when is a free photo from let's give it www. That's kind of cute. Pixabay.com by Raniel. How cool is that? All right, so I'm going to give this, I'm going to center it and make it 10 point. I'm going to remove the link. This book does not do the photo justice, but I'm sure you get the idea. In that vast sea of translucent gummy bears, there's one that refuses to be just another see-through taste treat. It lets its earth-seen freak flag fly and embraces the red number 40 inside. True to itself, it refuses to submit to the transparent, mediocre majority. This is a non-fiction gummy bear brand. Dankeschön, Raniel, for the perfect photographic illustration of a difficult pair of concepts. Here's the thing. We are all translucent gummy bears, unless, no matter who you are and what you do, unless your name happens to be Oprah, we are commodities. If you're a writer of modest success, you're just another writer. Same for plumbers, medical illustrators, and even highly credentialed professionals like medical doctors. Let's say architectural illustrators, like medical doctors. If I asked you to name all the doctors that you could off the top of your head, how many would that be? Maybe your own personal doctor, possibly a well-known TV doctor like Dr. Phil or Dr. Oz. Maybe Dr. Anthony Fauci probably made the list. As I write this, we're in the midst of the 2020 COVID-19 pandemic. I don't need pandemic. But how many doctors have risen above the basic commodity description of the profession in your mind? See, even doctors are a commodity unless, like Dr. Phil, they've become a brand. Carrying this analogy way too far, Dr. Phil is a red gummy bear. So is caterer turned media maestro Martha Stewart, stock car racer Kyle Busch, and a couple of Waco-based home flippers named Chip and Joanna Gaines. All of these commodities became personal brands. How? By publicly and consistently demonstrating who they are, what they do, and how they do it. And how they do it on an everyday, every engagement basis, what they do it on. In which I pick on plumbers to prove a point. I've made the point shown above in presentations for years. And in order to do so, I always sought out what I thought would be the most ludicrous profession to make my point, in kind of a reductio ad absurdum way. That profession, plumbing. In my presentations, I'd use a fictional plumber to impress upon the audience that anyone and everyone has the opportunity to create a personal brand that can result in a higher public profile, attract industry attention, and ultimately lead to more successful customer engagements. The talk always included some graphic examples of things like having a YouTube channel with multiple video series directed towards specific audience groups. For B2C, business to consumer audiences, topics like how to fix a leaky faucet, when to get a new water heater, how to deal with low water pressure, and the like. For B2B, business to business audiences, video topics might be more along the lines of how do you know when to hire new employees, product reviews, industry trends for the real plumber on the road, etc. These were all fanciful and fictional ideas generated by someone who approaches plumbing repair with great trepidation. And then I met Roger Wakefield. Roger Wakefield is an expert plumber because he showed me so. So picture this, knowing all that. I'm at Social Media Marketing World in March of 2020. The conference hasn't started yet, but I showed up early to get my credentials before the opening crush of arrivals. Apparently, I was not the only one with that strategy in mind, because after getting my name tag and event swag, I sat down at a nearby table to do a little emailing and Instagramming. From my phone. After a minute or two, I looked up, and just about 10 feet in front of me is a guy in a light blue, heavily embroidered shirt. His back to me, but his brand is slapping me across the face. This dude had a shoulder area on the back of his the shoulder area of the back of his shirt embroidered with his name and his claim, the Expert Plumber. It took a few seconds to register, but once it did, I just knew I had to meet the guy. Short story, he did not disappoint, and his personal brand story is amazing. Amazing. So then we go into this next section. I can plug in. He's episode 95 and 96. Because I just did that today. Let's just double check that. Yeah, 95, 96. All right. I think I actually have to move this to the next page. No, actually, I'm on the right page. All right, so I don't think I need a picture of his shirt necessarily, but I'm just a plumber. Roger and I were first-time social media attendees in 2018. He, like me, came alone and with no distinct agenda other than to see what the state of the art of social media is and how it might be able to advance his business goals. The way he tells it, he was in a session and his phone was buzzing away like a hive of bees. Calls kept coming in, so he stepped out of the presentation to see what the big deal was. Turns out it was his wife needing to get him on the phone because, and I quote him quoting her, "We might not have a business for you to come back to." It really was that serious, too. As just another plumber out there in his home city of Dallas, Texas, Roger was one of many, and people just weren't finding the need or desire to contact him for his plumbing services. He was doing all the right things traditional marketing encourages, but it wasn't making the phones ring. Back in a session on YouTube, Video Strategy with Daryl Eves, he heard one thing that blew his mind open. A simple fact that had amazing implications about the way Roger would come to think about marketing. What was that? That the number 2 search engine in the world after Google was a YouTube. Roger had been using YouTube, like many people, as an online storage platform for the few videos he had done in the past. He had posted his Why Texas Green Plumbing video that introduces his business in a typical About the Biz video style you'd recognize from a billion similar videos for similar businesses. You know, Guy interviewed on camera, looking somewhat awkwardly to the left of the screen at what may have been the interviewer, etc. on January 29th of 2018. No offense to the video, which is still shown on the homepage of his TexasScreenPlumbing.com website with a respectable 11,500 views at the time of writing. But personal, it was not. Interestingly, he posted the video just about 30 days before attending the social media marketing world that changed everything. It changed everything. That simple fact that YouTube was and still is the #2 search engine lit a fire in his mind. He took copious notes and headed back to Dallas. There, he convened his marketing team, consisting of himself and his designated marketing guy, and said something along the lines of, we're not going to tweak the marketing we're currently doing. We're scrapping it completely and starting from scratch and talking directly to our customers, actual and potential, via video on YouTube. And he did, with results that amazed him and fundamentally altered the trajectory of his career. You can see the results at any time by heading over to YouTube and searching Roger Wakefield Plumber. Or better yet, just search plumbing and see what comes up. Depending on the day and the mood of the YouTube algorithm, it's highly likely that the first page of video search results will have not just one or two videos, courtesy of Roger, videos, courtesy of Roger and his company, Texas Screen Plumbing, but even the majority of search videos will likely even the majority of search videos displayed will likely be his. Just think about that for a second. Someone searches plumbing in the #2 search engine in the world, and your brand and messages dominate the results page. Do you know how many companies pay serious coin for half those results? And how much does it cost Roger to post new videos on this #2 search engine that then helps ensure he keeps those top search results spots? Nothing. $0. Just his time, talent, and some video editing that he can do himself. Oh, and he's doing live streams to YouTube as well. And linked in as well, which requires even less time, but more discipline. I tell you, this Roger guy has hacked YouTube and others like a digitally native millennial, but he's nowhere near a millennial in age. He's a tail end boomer that all y'all, he's a tail end baby boomer. Complete with he's a tail end baby, but complete with gray, with a gray mustache, complete with a bald head, digital native, a digital native he is not, but digital master he certain has become. He certainly has become. But it's not just about the where. He's also nailed his who and what. Video and YouTube. I'm going to say video is his best where. What makes his channel and style, what makes this channel and style his best communication channel? That they allow him to demonstrate who he is, what he does, and how he does it better than any other venue out there. But get this, he's not a hot 20-year-old makeup influencer. He's a late 50s, bald, husky plumber with a mustache you'd only expect to find on a guy in a black leather vest tooling down Route 66 on a late model Harley Davidson. And all that makes his videos so dang charming, real, and engaging. Roger has his personal brand nailed because of two things. He is who he is. And two, he took serious time to think about number one and turn that personal brand foundation into everyday brand practice. In other words, he's figured out his talk, but more importantly, he's walking his completely true, completely you walk. So far, since beginning to post his fully personal brand-aligned videos on YouTube in February 2018, he's demonstrated that walk in about 500 videos to date. His experience in front of the camera before that, nada. The thing I find so inspiring about Roger is that after his mind was blown open regarding the power of video, he just jumped right into the deep end in spite of quite a list of reasons why he shouldn't. Here's a part of that list that really proves the point. 1, his age. At somewhere around 58 years old, he's considered a fossil by many and irrelevant by most. 2, his look. Picture a balding pro wrestler in a 1970s porn star's mustache. That's Roger. 3, his subject matter, plumbing. How unsexy is that? 4, his natural audience demographic. While YouTube attracts viewers of all ages, the AARP crowd is not exactly racking up video views the way kids are. And 5, his experience in front of and behind a camera or video editing system. As a plumber, he's good with his hands, but he didn't start out as an on-camera natural. Or post-production wizard. The list could go on for several pages more, but I'm sure you understand the daunting challenge Roger set for himself when he decided to go all in on video. All of these obstacles were crushed by his determination, not a little bit based on desperation. Remember his wife's admonition, "We won't have a business by the time you get home." The Dane in me admires the way this Texas Viking burned his longboats on the shores of YouTube. And guess what? It worked and continues to work brilliantly. Normally, I'd be a little shy about touting one person's experience in a book that I hope will have at least a 5 to 10 year shelf life. People have a tendency to start and stop initiatives for any number of reasons, but I have no such fear of Roger pausing or stopping his video campaign on YouTube and a growing number of video-oriented social platforms, because I know that if there was only an audience of cockroaches in some post-apocalyptic hellscape, that he'd still be creating compelling video content. Why? Because he took a huge chance, has seen amazing success, found his personal brand voice, and has been bitten by the "wow, they really want to hear my voice" bug. That's a marvelous malady for which there is no cure. want more about and from Roger Wakefield, check out episodes 95 and 96 of the Nonfiction Brand podcast. Search for it in your favorite podcast application. Example, e.g. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, etc. Or listen via your browser at HTT. Needs another T in there. PS Nonfiction Brand, podbean.com. All right. That's 13. So I'm doing a little math here. And I'm pulling it up on my calculator. So that's 13, 14 words divided by 350 words equals about 3.75 pages. I think I need to get, let's go to Safari. Because I can pull down let's just do this and see what happens. If I type in plumbing, what comes up? Oh, the number 1. The number 4. The number 6. Most of the videos on the page are this dude. All right, so I got to get a good one. He's got such good video or such good content. Look at that. He's got 42,000 subscribers. And he's fully monetized. So he's actually making money. Not a lot, but he's making money. I want to find a good one. Popular uploads. Gosh, he's just done such a fantastic job. Caught red-handed.
Company almost cost a home buyer $40,000, but luckily their real estate agent stepped in and called me and asked me to retest something, so that didn't happen. We retested this house because when we went out a week ago and tested it and did sewer isolation, we knew there were leaks in the sanitary sewer system under the house. Here's what I did. I showed up yesterday and retested the house. Now, we had gone in and installed two-way cleanouts right out front so we could full by the I'm going to tell you how a dishonest plumbing company almost cost a home buyer $40,000 and let me know. Here, are you checking in the state of Texas? Expert Plumber. I'll see you in the next video if you don't get flushed.
I'll see you in the next video if you don't get flushed. Oh, he's so great. Popular uploads.
Do you want to know 10 things that'll help you 10x your plumbing career? Check this out. So you're a plumber. Do you want to know 10 things?
Oh, I got to get, how am I going to get these? That'll be good. See, I can screenshot this. Oh, I don't want all this crumb down there.
Check this out. So you're a plumber and you want to figure out how to get ahead in your plumbing career. Whether you've
Can I get that bigger? I'll have to figure this out. Anyway, what that means is I can now award each of these sections the green flag of doneness. $16. All right. All right, so I'm okay with that. All right, so I've green flagged those two sections, meaning that they're in pretty good shape for right now. It's kind of a first pass edit. It's not my final edit, but it's good enough for me to put this, out of my mind and work on other stuff. So I'm happy about that, and it's time to move on. So that's actually it for tonight. I'm not going to go any further because I've got plenty of time to work on other stuff. And frankly, it's a Saturday night, and I don't want to spend all night here. So there. I've got other things to do, but I do appreciate the fact that you showed up to keep me honest about coming down here and working on my book, because if it weren't for you, I probably wouldn't be doing it for myself. So thank you very much. I'm DP Knudten for the Nonfiction Brand podcast, which comes out every Monday. And this Monday will feature a brand new episode with Roger Wakefield, who I just wrote about or just edited about, read through the section about Roger. And it's a really great conversation with a really fun guy. And I think there's a lot you can get out of it. So please check it out wherever you get podcasts for free, which is just about everywhere. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, yada, yada, ding dong, iHeartRadio, you name it. Just search Nonfiction Brand, and you're likely to see my face, which looks a little something like that guy right there. And you can listen to that episode. So thanks again for watching BOOKWARD Bound tonight. I will see you tomorrow. In the meantime, theme music, take us on out. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.